Hello, my name is Hayley Brown and today we're going to be transforming this area at the side of my shed. Now, I think you can all agree that we have one of these spaces that tends to get neglected and also it started to fall apart. But actually this is a really valuable space. So what we're going to be doing is putting in some planters and a fold down potting table to utilise every inch of the side of the shed. First of all, I'm going to clear this area and strip it all the way back to have a fresh start. While the soil in the bed isn't in bad condition, it probably has been depleted of nutrients as it's been in here for quite a few years and all of the plants will have sucked up all of the goodness out of it. So after I've cleared all the weeds, I'm going to dig this out and I'm going to replace it with some fresh compost. Now this soil won't be wasted and I'll be taking it over to one of my raised beds where I'm going to use it as a top dress that you would normally do in autumn. As I'm removing the soil, I'm finding bulbs that I planted for spring. Now autumn is the perfect time to move these and as you can see their roots are growing but they haven't started sprouting yet. Now I'm going to be potting these back into the soil, but before I do that I'm going to be dividing them. So as you can see this bulb is a few years old and it's got 3 new bulbs coming from it. All I want to do is break those apart and that means I'm going to get 3 new plants. This climbing rose is the only established plant that we've got in the bed and unfortunately I'm going to have to take that out so I can rebuild the planters below. Ideally you'd wait until this rose has gone dormant, which means all the leaves would have fallen to the floor and it would be in the winter time. First of all, I've teased out these roots and then I'm going to grab the fork and go around the base of the plant to try and remove the rose with as much soil intact. So I've cleared the bed and actually the wood isn't in too bad condition. The corner posts here are the worst bit, however these boards are pretty sound still, so we're going to reuse these for the planters. And now I'm going to make the centrepiece of this project, which is the folding potting bench. Now this is going to be a really versatile use of the space, but first I need to measure up so then we know how much wood we need to cut. I'm going to make this 600mm deep, which is about the rough size of a kitchen worktop. And that means that when it drops down, it's not going to hit the floor. First of all, I'm going to cut the supports which are going to be attached to the shed. Now for this we need some chunky wood, so unfortunately we can't repurpose anything, but if you've got something lying around, then do use that. Next up, I'm making the frame for the table. So we've got these 2 long lengths here, and then we've got these 3 shorter ones that we're going to have at either end, and then one in the middle for some extra support. Now the only other thing we've added is these thin timbers. So this is going to double up on the ends, and this is going to be where our support brackets are going to rest on. And that's the frame made. So all I've done is I've padded this with some recycled pallet wood. And next up, I'm going to paint the shed, and that's going to spruce it all up before I connect everything together and attach the potting bench. During a storm, my shed window actually got broken, so it's time to replace it, and this is going to be a super simple method by building 2 frames. The shed is a few years old now, so it's probably sunken in some places and gone out of square. So all you need to do is make sure you're measuring from each point rather than just presuming that the top and the bottom are going to be the same dimensions. And that's the 2 frames screwed in place. So I'm going to grab my perspex now and measure this out. So just going all the way up to the frame, and I'm going to grab my pencil and mark where I need to cut. That's the perspex cut to size, and now I'm going to secure this with some silicone and cut some little blocks of wood which are going to hold it in place temporarily while the silicone is going off. I'm reusing the wood from the old planter and making 2 new planters, one either side of the window. Now this construction is really simple just by using these boards and these posts for the corners. And that's the planter finished. I've just added some trellis behind, which is going to be perfect for my climbing rose. So all I need to do is fill this up now. So I'm going to add some gravel in the bottom, which is going to aid some drainage. And then I'm going to add in some multi-purpose peat-free compost to fill it up. The tabletop is all ready to go, and now I'm just going to cut some arm supports out of this OSB. We'd love to hear how you're embracing small spaces outdoors, so please do comment below. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and thanks for watching.